from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Guns and pot. The new laws taking effect in just a few hours. They are racking up sales as people stock up ahead of restrictions and higher prices.
Plus, getting ready to ring in the new year. Local law enforcement agencies around the Bay Area are on alert this morning. We'll show you how they're working to keep you safe. Good morning. It's 7:30 a.m. on this Sunday, December 31st. I'm Phil Matier.
And I'm Melissa Kane. Happy New Year's Eve. And now a live look this morning at Times Square, where an estimated 1 million people from all over the world are expected to watch the iconic ball drop and usher in 2018. Now, safety and security are top of mind as New Year's celebrations kick into high gear.
And this morning in San Francisco, officials are racing to make sure that security measures are in place for tonight's big fireworks show at the Embarcadero. The city was going to activate its emergency operations center today, and they'll also have more first responders on duty than usual. The extra measures come after the FBI stopped a Christmas Day terrorist plot planned for Pier 39.
We want the public to know, again, that there are no credible threats. And it's important that they see officers out there, but there will also be officers out there that you won't see, that you will not see, because we will have a plainclothes presence there as well.
The San Francisco Fire Department says it will also be cracking down on illegal fireworks. Officials are asking people to sign up also for emergency alerts. You can enroll by texting NYESF 17 to 888-777.
And the CHP will also be out in full force today looking for anyone driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. A maximum enforcement period began on Friday and runs through Monday. During the same period last year, officers made more than 750 arrests. The CHP says anyone who's not feeling sober should call a taxi, rideshare service, or friend for a safe ride home. And here's another option to get home safely on New Year's Eve. Starting at 8 o'clock tonight, Muni, AC Transit, and VTA are offering rides at no cost. BART is still charging fares on New Year's Eve, but it will have extended service until 3 a.m. Developing this morning, the San Mateo District Attorney's Office is investigating a deadly officer-involved shooting in Redwood City. It happened just before 2:30 yesterday afternoon outside the Wells Fargo Bank on Broadway. A new cell phone video captures that deadly confrontation. Redwood City police say they had to respond with lethal force after the suspect opened fire. Police say the gunman was pacing back and forth in front of the ATM machine area, and police ordered the customers to stay inside. And a negotiating team tried to talk to the man, but talks quickly broke down.
The individual raised his weapon and fired in the direction of the officers.
And then immediately after the shots started, he fell to the floor.
Officers say the man killed had a long rap sheet and had spent time in prison, although his name has not been released. And as with all officer-involved shootings, the officers have been placed on paid administrative leave while the DA's office conducts a review.
And funeral services were held for the CHP officer killed in a tragic Christmas Eve crash. 33-year-old Andrew Calamari was killed on Interstate 880 in Hayward by a suspected drunk driver. The CHP says the 22-year-old man was drunk and high on marijuana. Yesterday in Stockton, a long line of officers from as far away as Florida saluted the fallen officer. Pallbearers brought in a casket out of the Christian Life Center, where his wife and children said their final goodbyes. One of the most touching eulogies came from his patrol partner, who survived the crash.
Andrew, I know you could hear me. I love you, buddy. And it was an honor being your partner.
We're all heartbroken, but we're not broken in spirit.
Camilleri was taken to his final resting place in his hometown of Tracy. As for the suspect, they've not released his name, and he's still in the hospital. Once he's out, he'll be facing a number of charges.
And new video this morning of a rescue in Contra Costa County. Sheriff's deputies swooped down and saved this injured mountain biker. It happened yesterday at the Briones Regional Park in Martinez. A crews airlifted the victim to safety. No word on his condition this morning. And
we're just hours away from recreational marijuana being legal in California. But with the new regulation comes higher taxes on medical pot. Legalization will mean higher prices for pot and strict limits on how much you can buy per day. And that's driving consumers to buy their pot ahead of the time before the New Year law kicks in.
I made my purchase ahead of time because I know that next week it'll be more expensive.
Generally, we're letting people know that they can expect 10 to 30% higher prices with the taxes.
The rush is expected to only increase after the new year. Dispensaries in the states like Washington and Colorado saw their customer base double and triple after legalization.
And also on January 1st, increased prices for gun ammunition. Now, any ammunition bought online can no longer be sent directly to your house starting tomorrow. It instead has to be shipped to a licensed firearms dealer and then picked up in person. It's an attempt to keep people who are prohibited from buying ammunition from purchasing it online. But it also means that the cost could go up.
You're going to have extra paperwork that people are going to fill out, or you send me your ammunition, now I'm holding on to your ammunition for a couple of weeks or whatever, I'm going to charge you a storage fee. That's what a lot of dealers are going to do.
Now, shops where ammunition is picked up also have to have a special license from the Department of Justice. But the agency has not published the rules for the licenses or given any out. So some shops may have to either shut their doors or stop selling ammunition tomorrow. We are following breaking news out of Colorado. Authorities say a number of deputies from a sheriff's office in Denver have been wounded after being shot while responding to a disturbance. People living in this neighborhood are being told to shelter in place, and we will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they become available.
Meanwhile, a holiday tradition in Santa Cruz is coming with a warning this year. Police will be out handing big fines for anyone breaking certain laws on New Year's Eve. For example, fines for several property and traffic violations will triple inside of what's known as Safety Enhancement Zone in the downtown area. Hundreds are expected to go to the downtown for the countdown of the new year at the town clock. But starting this evening, anyone within an open alcohol container or drinking alcohol in public will pay possibly a $480 fine. Firing off a gun will cost you more than $1,400. And littering, $288. Traffic violations could also cost up to $960 in some cases.
Everybody's working to ensure we have a safe environment for families who want to come downtown and celebrate the new year.
You might remember that the city did the same thing during Halloween. The Santa Cruz Police Department reported a decline in violations.
And while many of us are enjoying festivities here with relatively mild temperatures, bitter cold weather is getting in the way of celebrations in cities across the U.S. Now, we're taking you out to New York. This is a live look at Times Square as the city prepares for hundreds of thousands of people to come out and watch that ball drop, which will go on as planned despite the freezing temperatures expected tonight.
3, 2, 1.
Now, those crystals adorning that New Year's Eve ball have been tested to handle extreme weather, but people are a bit more sensitive. In places like Austin, Texas, and Omaha, Nebraska, they're putting off celebration events due to dangerously cold temperatures.
She made me wear like 4 layers, so I can't really move, but I'm warm. It's better than being cold.
It's fantastic. I'm not a big hot person. I like the cold.
And with the wind chill in New York expected at 0 degrees, city health officials are recommending visitors wear gloves, hats, and scarves to cover all exposed skin during the ball drop.
A Marine from Northern California is dead. His family says he died trying to break up a fight. Lance Corporal Ryan Harris of Placer County was with a group of Marines in San Diego's Gaslight Quarter early Friday morning when a fight broke out, and Harris was one of the two men who were stabbed. His family says he's been a Marine for 2.5 years, and before that he excelled at baseball. 21-year-old was recently named Marine of the Month at Camp Pendleton, where he was stationed. He hoped to join the California Highway Patrol after his military service. And back here in the Bay Area, one person is dead and another injured in a shooting in San Pablo. It happened just after 3 yesterday afternoon on Valencia Way. Police found a 47-year-old woman and a 22-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds. The woman died at the scene. The man was taken to the hospital where he's expected to survive. Police are still trying to figure out whether one or both of the victims were the intended targets of the shooting. So far, no arrests have been made.
And the rollout of BART's new cars has once again been delayed. The transit agency says it's waiting on state regulators to inspect 10 of its new rail cars. BART failed an initial safety inspection last month. Since then, officials say they've improved the hardware and the software of the new cars.
We want to make sure that everything is safe and reliable before we begin to put passengers on them. There have been other transit agencies that have
put new rail cars into service. Then they've had to pull them back because they weren't quite ready for prime time.
No word yet on when the final state inspection will take place. BART plans to replace all of its 669 rail cars with new ones at a total cost of $2.6 billion. And in a related story, you can expect to pay more to ride BART and other public transit starting tomorrow. BART fares go up almost 3%, and that means a typical $3.85 fare will cost an extra 10 cents. Paper BART tickets will cost 50 cents more. The VTA is increasing adult fares by 25 cents, and in July, Caltrain fares go up 7%.
It's an interesting twist for BART, or they not only goes up the percentage, which is sort of clocked in, but also they've added a 50-cent surcharge for those of us that use a paper ticket. This is to help cover a budget deficit that is continuing to haunt the system.
Well, yeah, even after billions of dollars in bonds that voters have endorsed for the agency, and now we've got the potential toll hike, a bridge toll hike that is supposed to go to pay for things like BART.
That's right, and it's going to be a very interesting year as we go out, because also BART is still having trouble attracting riders on the weekends and off-peak hours, because it's actually sometimes as costly or cost-effective or even cheaper if there's a group of you to take Uber or Lyft. And so competition is coming to public transit.
And tomorrow, the minimum wage will increase statewide and even more in some parts of the Bay Area. Across California, workers on the low end of the pay scale will make 50 cents more per hour. The minimum wage will be $11 at larger businesses and $10.50 for smaller firms. Now, in Sunnyvale and Mountain View, minimum wage will jump from the current $13 to $15. And by the way, Emeryville has the highest minimum wage in the entire country for large employers at $15.20. But to be clear, that will not be increasing tomorrow. Now, right now, Governor Jerry Brown is on vacation in Mexico. He's taken a break before he enters his final year in office. Now, Brown is termed out of the governor's race in January of 2019. Now, upon his return to California after vacation on January 3rd, he will present his proposed budget for the next fiscal year and give his State of the State address.
The Warriors went 9-2 without Steph Curry, but with Curry back on the court, we got to see what a spark he is to that offense and the impact he has on his teammates. Curry returning to the floor last night against Memphis after missing the last 11 games, and Steph didn't look like he missed any time. He knocks down his first three-point attempt to give Golden State an early 10-0 lead. Second quarter, Dubs up by 9. Zaza Pachulia threw his legs to Curry for the corner three. Curry scored 21 just in the first half. Third quarter, Curry chases down the loose ball, and then he buries another one from deep. Steph finished with 38 points in just 26 minutes and made 10 threes, the most in an NBA game this season. And the Warriors win 141-128. Stanford opening up Pac-12 play on the farm against rival Cal. 30 seconds left. The Bears trailing by 1. Justice Suing gets the bucket and the foul to give Cal the lead. They come back from down 17 to win 77-74. And ESPN is reporting the Raiders are prepared to pursue John Gruden to be the team's next head coach. The report also says owner Mark Davis would include an ownership stake to lure Gruden back. And the 49ers and the Raiders play their last game of this season today in Los Angeles. You can catch the Raiders game right here on KPIX 5 at 1:25. Andrea Nakano, KPIX 5 Sports.